Last turn of Tailwind, they just protected. Here we go. Shadow Ball. For the win, Spectrier brings it home. Ghost Month time once again. This is, of course, the special that I do in October to celebrate my favorite Pokemon type, Ghost. One weekly video with a team built around a Ghost-type Pokemon. This is number 2 out of 5 for this year. And we're going to feature Spectrier. I said that I would build up to Legendaries after starting with Drifblim last week. And yeah, it's a pretty quick build-up. We'll get to some sort of bigger ticket Legendaries later, but Spectrier is a nice middle step here. And I also said that I would try to minimize overlap with VGC Legends, the series where I spin a wheel and get a random Legendary or mythical Pokemon to build around. I haven't done that here. Spectrier, of course, did get a feature in that series, I think fairly early on. But I'm good with that because Spectrier is a very overshadowed Pokemon. It doesn't have an interesting other form to give us, but it's kind of a neat Pokemon in itself. 130 base speed is kind of awkward in Regulation J because it's just a tiny bit slower than Fluttermane and Koraidon and friends. But yeah, Spectrier is just badly overshadowed by, well, Shadow Rider Calyrex, so I want to have a chance at giving it its due here. It does get Grimnay. It does not get the Unnerve effect to go with it, but it is able to boost its special attack if it gets a KO. And hopefully the Spectre will get to, but I have more of a support role in mind for it. It's kind of a silly concept. It would work a lot better if this were Sword and Shield and we had Dynamax available. In fact, people did build teams like this, somewhat like this, back in Sword and Shield, but it is Bulldoze Spectrier, max speed, Focus Sash. Chances are in a lot of matchups it can take a hit from something and then get the Bulldoze off. Setting up Weakness Policy Solgaleo. Solgaleo has Terra Fire to prevent it from being burned. Changes defensive matchups, although it does keep the ground weakness, which is not ideal. But it also keeps... well, except keeping the ground weakness is also valuable, because that means Bulldoze will still activate the Weakness Policy. And with Full Metal Body, Solgaleo will not be slowed down by Bulldoze, while opponents are, as long as they're grounded. And then Solgaleo might be able to outspeed some things and take advantage of that +2 attack, which also can't be intimidated away because, again, Full Metal Body. It's on Steel Strike and Psychic Fangs for stabs. Psychic Fangs is also kind of nice because it breaks screens. And then I have Fire Terra Blast instead of Flare Blitz, just because I want Solgaleo to have chances to sweep, so I don't want it taking a lot of recoil damage. Flare Blitz is probably a little bit more optimal because I don't get the coverage without Terastallizing Solgaleo is the trade-off here, but we'll give it a go. Probably not clicking Fire Move too much anyway, because this Sun team, so to speak, is also a Rain team. I figured Kyogre was a nice pick for the second restricted slot. I actually put Whimsicott on the team before Kyogre, I just rearranged them a little in the builder. But Whimsicott gives Tailwind support, so Solgaleo, not especially fast for a restricted Pokemon. Even with Bulldoze dropping some opponents, it could probably benefit from Tailwind to try to outspeed things. Spectrier benefits from Tailwind, once it's gone for the Bulldoze setup, or maybe in a mode without Solgaleo. It can go for Shadow Ball, try to knock some things out, get the Grimnay boosts. Spectrier has Terra Ghost to double down on the Shadow Ball damage, but it could use that little bit more speed from Tailwind, so Whimsicott is here. I was thinking about Fake Tears Whimsicott, but this team's a little bit vulnerable to some special attackers, I think, so Light Screen is pretty valuable. It also proved its worth in a video I recently recorded, but I think will come out after this one. So no Fake Tears Whimsicott, but still a good Tailwind setter. And then I figured Kyogre complemented that nicely. It helps cover some of Solgaleo's weaknesses, right? Solgaleo, it can't be intimidated, and it can't be burned if I Terastallize it, but it still has some trouble breaking through things like Incineroar. I mean, Incineroar resists or is immune to every attack on this Solgaleo, unless I keep the normal special Terra Blast. So that's a pretty significant threat. There's some other Pokemon like that that are pretty significant threats, and Kyogre just washes those away. So I figured as a special attacking restricted that benefits from Tailwind, it was a pretty good complement here. Then I have Rapid Strike or Shifu. That gives me another option to take advantage of the rain and hit things hard. Also, I think this team kind of hard loses to Trick Room if the opponent gets that set up. So if I see a hard Trick Room team, I probably want to try to overwhelm with Kyogre and Urshifu. Although a lot of Trick Room teams are running Annihilate, so that I'm not sure that really works. Maybe I lead Spectrier into the Annihilate stuff because I can't Final Gambit it. I don't know, I'm gonna have to think about that. But otherwise, Choice Band or Shifu is here to do big damage. I could just switch to Choice Scarf or Shifu. No, I think it's still slower than Annihilate, right? What is the Shifu speed stat? We'll look at the builder in a sec. But yeah, I was thinking about a Focus Sash coaching Urshifu, but then I decided to run the Sash on Spectrier. I was thinking Scarf Spectrier, but then don't want to be locked into Bulldoze. So I think this works out better. Just go for maximum damage with this. And I have Ice Spinner as counterplay to like Psy Spam. It gives me a way to break Miraidon's electric terrain if I get the attack off. So I like it a little bit more than U-Turn on this team. It is unfortunate that I don't have coaching to click into Solgaleo, but I don't think it's worth it here. And then finally, I went back and forth for a while on the last Pokemon, but I think this team has significant trouble with certain water types like Kyogre and Terra Water Magearna. So I figured Rillaboom was a valuable piece to give me some insurance into those. I think this team is good at, for example, pressuring a Magearna to Terra Water, but then it has trouble beating the Magearna once it has done that, unless I bring Rillaboom. And Rillaboom also gives me grassy terrain, helps Solgaleo stick around a little bit longer, gives me another way to change terrain besides Urshifu Ice Spinner, and it gives me fake out support for just creating openings for the big attackers to go. I actually don't think I have a great answer to Annihilate and Magearna stuff, though. Well, I could just... I could do like Solgaleo, Spectrier, Shadow Ball the Ape. Then I have to try to get through the Trick Room turns. But maybe, actually, you know what? Solgaleo can hold up pretty well against Magearna. It has a type advantage into most of the coverage Magearna runs. And then if I pressure Magearna to Terrasilize, I can get Rillaboom in the back. So I think that's my answer to those teams. I'm not going to make any drastic changes. And we'll see how it goes. Shiny Spectrier is unfortunately illegal. Welcome to Ghost Month in Regulation J. We're going to run into that sometimes. This might be the only time, I'm not sure. We're going to have to make Spectrier standard black-purple coloring. And get on the ladder and let's go. Arceus, Miraidon, Incineroar, Farigiraf, Chien-Pao, and Landorus. There's Extreme Speed Arceus. I mean, Spectrier Solgaleo is not bad into that. And Spectrier will be faster than Arceus. They can't Extreme Speed Spectrier. They can Shadow Claw it. But even if they lead like Arceus, Chien-Pao, this is the kind of thing that I'm looking for with the Focus Sash Spectrier. I can get a Bulldoze off before they can knock it out, at least with that combination. So I'll lead Spectrier Solgaleo. We'll try the tech in game 1 here. And kind of want to bring Whimsicott Kyogre. But do I just lose to Miraidon then? Or even to Chien-Pao? I actually think I might leave the Kyogre behind this game and bring Urshifu Rillaboom in the back. That gives me offensive cover into like everything. But it is a bit less powerful. We'll give it a go. This is a Spectrier Solgaleo team more than it's a Kyogre team. And we're going to live by that and die by that. Okay, Incineroar Arceus. They can fake out Solgaleo. I'm not sweating that too much. I might want to Terra Fire, though, to cover for knockoff, Flare Blitz, Will-O-Wisp, Shadow Claw, Flare Blitz Arceus. You do see that sometimes. It's an early, very committal use of my Terra, but I want Solgaleo to do stuff, so let's just do it. Bulldoze, Terra Fire, and I'll click Sunsteel Strike into Arceus, but they might flinch Solgaleo here. They don't flinch Solgaleo. I get speed drops into their Pokemon, I get the weakness policy. I get Sunsteel Strike before Arceus gets to move, it doesn't KO. They set up Swords Dance. They do knock off Solgaleo. Solgaleo is already without an item, however. I have Will-O-Wisp on Spectrier, but honestly I think Spectrier is just not that valuable in this position now. I'll protect it and Sunsteel Strike the Arceus slot again. Oh, Arceus, I have turned off Solgaleo's normal resistance, actually. That's not great. Terra Fire did a lot for me in this position, but it does do that one unfortunate thing. I'm going to see if I can get a Will-O-Wisp into Arceus, actually. Terra Normal. Protect Solgaleo. They do try to Extreme Speed it. I get a Will-O-Wisp into Arceus. Nice. Then they knock off Spectrier. They knock it down to the Focus Sash. I don't have to preserve Spectrier. I think I might be better off just letting it go down here. It's kind of done its job. It's not that good into most of the rest of their team, right? Like, Shadow Ball doesn't have a lot of targets here. Spectrier is going to be slower than Miraidon. I'll click a Bulldoze. No, I won't. I'll click a click a Shadow Ball into the Incineroar slot. You know, who knows what happens. And I still want to get rid of this Arceus. Protect. Probably should have seen that one coming. You get the special defense drop into Incineroar. None of the rest of what I've brought takes advantage of that, though. So Incineroar U-turns out against Solgaleo anyway. And in comes Miraidon. And Miraidon is just threatening a KO into anything because I didn't bring Whimsicott. But what I can do here is go Rillaboom, protect Solgaleo. Then I can threaten Miraidon with Fake Out. They could have Farigiraf in the back. I haven't seen their last Pokemon yet. But if not, I can go for damage with Solgaleo at least one more time. They went for Extreme Speed into Solgaleo. They Volt Switch into Rillaboom. Okay. The good news is Miraidon being off the field. I can't Fake Out, obviously. But I'm not super pressured right now. I probably should pivot Rillaboom back out. In fact, I think I'm down to sack Spectrier here if it comes to that. But yeah, let me see if I can finally get rid of this Arceus. Ooh, Helping Hand. What's this going to do? Nothing, because they targeted Spectrier. Nice. Arceus is finally gone. That took a while, though. Incineroar's back. Intimidate will do nothing to Solgaleo. They can Fake Out. I kind of want to just Will-O-Wisp for Farigiraf. Get Chip on it, maybe weaken a Foul Play. Actually, yeah, Foul Play could be a threat here. I'll protect Solgaleo. They do Fake Out that. Will-O-Wisp goes into Farigiraf. They Foul Play, knock out Spectrier. I get Urshifu now. Obviously, Miraidon is a threat, but if I just Choice Band Surging Strike this slot and Psychic Fangs this slot, what do they have? I should have done that the other way around. I think Incineroar was more likely to switch out there, but they actually don't switch anything out. That means Psychic Fangs will go into resistance here. They Psychic Urshifu back and knock it out. Oh, that's awkward. I think they have positioned Miraidon to win this. I should have Surging Struck the Farigiraf. Oh no, Rillaboom. Okay. They come in at the same time, Rillaboom slower. That makes sense. I do get terrain control. So now let's Woodhammer Farigiraf and protect Solgaleo, and then next turn I have 2 Pokemon against 1. They go for Draco Meteor into Solgaleo. We knock out Farigiraf, and now it's High Horsepower and Psychic Fangs into Miraidon. The Draco Solgaleo it KOs, but Miraidon takes a big drop. And I am running High Horsepower on Rillaboom, something I don't often do in this format, but I was pretty afraid of Miraidon with this team. I do get some offensive cover into it, which I don't reveal until the second last turn, and it is a 2-hit KO. So there was a lot of slow playing that, carefully protecting the Solgaleo and maneuvering things around it, but paid off nicely in the end. Got Spectre on the board with a win in Regulation J. Whoa, Araquanid, Kyogre, Ditto, Whimsicott, Miraidon, Urshifu. Interesting, very scary team. I'm not even going to be mad if Ditto turns into Solgaleo and copies my boost. That would be pretty funny. But their Whimsicott... Well, okay, Focus Sash Spectre, right? If they set Tailwind with their Whimsicott to enable something, Spectre still gets the Bulldoze off, unless what they enable is Rapid Strike or Shifu, and then of course it gets the 3 hits. But I'm just going to try Spectre Solgaleo lead again. I'll certainly bring Rillaboom into this. I think I don't bring Kyogre once again, right? Do I just bring Urshifu again? But when does Urshifu get an opening to attack? Especially if I don't bring Whimsicott. I feel like I might not have enough offense if I bring Whimsicott, but I also feel like I might need Whimsicott. Solgaleo will at least outspeed Kyogre if we both have Tailwind up. And Araquanid. Alright, I'll bring Whimsicott. But let it be known that I am wondering whether I'll run out of offense with this mode. Okay, new problem emerges. Setting up the weakness policy on Solgaleo is no good if they just one-shot it. What do I do here? Just go for Shadow Ball damage into something? Actually, let's switch Rillaboom into the Spectrier slot, and let's Sunsteel Strike Whimsicott. Getting rid of that Pokemon would be very nice. Especially since I still have my Whimsicott in the back. If I knock out their Tailwind setter turn 1, then even if they set it up, I can have mine offset from theirs afterward. So yeah, they have scared me off of trying the setup here. Because I'm worried that Miraidon will just KO Solgaleo. But yeah, if I can get rid of the Whimsicott, I actually Volt Switch the Spectrier slot, so I had the setup available. They go Ditto into Solgaleo, so they... Hey, I haven't set Solgaleo up yet. They don't copy its boosts. It's Sash Whimsicott, okay. But I can threaten it now. The responsible thing here is to pivot Rillaboom out, right? I could go Spectrier. And threaten Will-O-Wisp into Solgaleo, or Shadow Ball, but probably Will-O-Wisp. And by Solgaleo, I mean Ditto. How often do you see 2 Solgaleo on the field in a VGC game? I'll click Psychic Fangs into the Whimsicott here. I'm hoping they'll let me KO it, but... You know, if I catch something like this on the Switch, that's okay too. Both of their restricteds resist Sunsteel Strike, that's why I didn't go for that again. They Sunsteel Strike the Spectrier slot, it gets in safely. Is it Scarf Kyogre? It doesn't matter, they have Tailwind up. I can protect through this turn, but then what? Well, I think just scouting what they do is not bad here. Kyogre does actually have me under a lot of pressure, though. Yeah, it's just Origin Pulse. It's on Steel Strike into Spectrier. Do I sack my Whimsicott here? Even if I do, then what? By the way, Solgaleo gets Wide Guard, just like Lunala. Perhaps I could have run that instead of Protect, although obviously they would know that I have it. And Protect was extremely helpful last game, so I don't think I regret not running Wide Guard, but it would be nice right now. I'll go for a double Protect on Spectrier and pivot Rillaboom into the Solgaleo slot. Oh, that doesn't work because now the Sunsteel Strike is going to hit Rillaboom because Spectrier is fainted. Oh well, I was kind of pinned there regardless. They knock Rillaboom out with a crit. That's probably GG. I don't think I can win this without Rillaboom. And this is why you don't see Solgaleo too often in these restricted formats, unfortunately. They don't have Tailwind up right now, though, so I can Tailwind myself and Psychic Fangs Kyogre. And it does KO. What do they go for? Sunsteel Strike into Whimsicott. That KOs because I don't have a Sash Whimsicott. Their Whimsicott's back. They can set Tailwind. I still have the Terra Fire, so I actually can beat Ditto in the endgame. The problem is I lose to Miraidon first. Wow. They didn't Tailwind. Okay, wait. Can this be done? I don't think so, because I think I have to one-shot Miraidon. And I don't think I can do that. Maybe if I crit? I'm surprised they didn't Tailwind there. I think I still lose, though. Having Terra Blast on Solgaleo was actually kind of nice this game. Okay, yeah, a crit still wouldn't have done it. I mean, I lost anyway, so it doesn't matter, but having Terra Blast on Solgaleo instead of Flare Blitz meant that Ditto couldn't click Flare Blitz into my Solgaleo. So that's kind of a funny interaction there. Oh, here's a Magearna. It's trying to hide behind its teammate, but I see it. Along with Lunala, Indeedee, Iron Hands, Fluttermane, and Ursaluna. So into this, I would like to pressure immediately with Kyogre and Urshifu, I think. Lunala lead is tricky. He has a Wide Guard. But honestly, if it's like Lunala Magearna, I might be down to click Surging Strikes into Lunala and Thunder into Magearna, anticipating a Terra Water or something. Yeah, it's all the more reason not to lead Spectrier here, because Wide Guard would also stop the Bulldoze into their team. Actually, that doesn't matter here, because their team's going to be slower. Other than the Fluttermane, their whole team's going to be slower than Solgaleo anyway. So maybe I could just do the Bulldoze stuff. I'm going to lead Kyogre or Shifu. That's what my gut is telling me in this matchup. If they lead Fluttermane, though, that's a problem. I'll bring Solgaleo. I think I might bring Rillaboom and leave the Spectrier behind this time. I don't think Spectrier is all that good outside of the lead spot here. They lead Indeedee, Lunala. Okay. So I can Surging, probably Indeedee. I can Ice Spinner Indeedee. The problem is if they Wide Guard. But if they Wide Guard, they're not setting Trick Room. So I'll go Water Spout and Surging Strikes into Indeedee here. Even if it's Rocky Helmet Indeedee, I think it's worth targeting it aggressively here. Which it is, but... Oh, just missed out on the 2-hit KO there. Could have saved myself a little bit of Rocky Helmet damage, but the rolls didn't work out. Who's next? If they go Magearna here and Terra Water, I'm not in a great spot. Because Kyogre's choice locked. It's Fluttermane, okay. That's not amazing either. It should be faster than either of my Pokemon. I can pivot to Rillaboom, change the terrain, tank things with the Assault Vest. Actually think I want to switch both of my Pokemon here. And I actually think that's okay to do. Rillaboom in this slot, Solgaleo in this slot. Yeah, I didn't bring the Spectrier to this one. They Wide Guard. The Icy Wind. Doesn't even get a speed drop into Solgaleo because of Full Metal Body. Of course, they are pretty free to set Trick Room now. This is Woodhammer, Lunala, and Sunsteel Strike Fluttermane. It could be Sash Fluttermane. But if it is, I can Grassy Glide it next turn. They actually give me the weakness policy, but did they double target Solgaleo? They did. Okay, I don't think the weakness policy mattered there. I think that was always knocking Fluttermane down to its Sash. But now I get Urshifu back. Could be Terra Water or Terra Grass Lunala. That's what I don't want to see here. But I can Grassy Glide Fluttermane. They don't have this speed advantage anymore, as long as the Grassy terrain is still up. And I knocked out Indeedee, and there are 3 more turns of terrain, and I can click Surging Strikes into Lunala. It's probably even worth the Terra Water on... I don't think I need the Terra Water on Urshifu here. I think I actually should preserve the Terra Fire on Rillaboom in case that helps into a Magearna endgame. They don't Terra. Fluttermane's gone. Lunala's gone. What's their last Pokemon? Ursaluna. Yeah, goodbye. Protect? Not in this format. Alright, nice Urshifu sweep there. Didn't bring Spectrier to the game, but Spectrier is on the team, so that's a Spectrier win in my book. Let's see if we can get it into another game now. Darkrai. Oh, I haven't seen a Darkrai team in a little bit, actually. Darkrai with Meowstic for the Gravity Setter. Therian Landorus, so that's looking to click Earthquake when everything is grounded. Or maybe Earth Power. If it's Earthquake, I can nerf it with Rillaboom Grassy Terrain. Terrapagos, Smeargle, and Indeedee. Wow. Quite a team. They don't have Tailwind. So, Whimsicott... Kyogre? Whimsicott Kyogre is a strong lead if they don't lead Smeargle. Fake out Meowstic could be an issue for that as well. I don't have great Darkrai outs. Whimsicott or Urshifu is a pretty fun lead here, I think. Because who's taking a Surging Strikes? Let's do that. And I'll bring Rillaboom. That means I don't have room for Spectrier and Solgaleo. Maybe it's just Kyogre. On the other hand, maybe it's Solgaleo because my physical restricted is a bit of a better threat into something like a Comp Mine Terrapagos, which it could definitely be on this team. So I'm going to bring Solgaleo. We'll see how that goes for me. Meowstic and Indeedee, okay. So they're not threatening Fake Out turn 1. That much is nice. Is it Trick Room Meowstic? Not impossible. I will go for Surging Strikes into Meowstic. If they redirect it into Indeedee, I can live with that, I think. And I'm just gonna set Light Screen with Whimsicott. They have a lot of special offense on their team, so it could be valuable. They get the gravity up. Maybe I should have prioritized Indeedee, actually, because now they can get Darkrai in and click follow me. I set Trick Room. But there's Darkrai, but I didn't take the bait. I didn't set Tailwind. So actually, Min Speed. Darkrai can be slower than my Urshifu, but I would think it probably isn't. It's probably even faster than Whimsicott, and I am down to find out. Let's Moonblast and Surging Strike this Darkrai. They didn't follow me. They set their own Light Screen. Oh, it's Citrus Berry Darkrai, so it takes the Surging Strikes. It is slower than Whimsicott, so they land Gravity into both my Pokemon. Okay. I'm just gonna click my attacks. Whimsicott already has a chance to wake up. Urshifu does not this turn. Okay, they pivot Darkrai out to Terapagos. I see. They put things to sleep and then they set up, presumably, Calm Mind Terapagos. Urshifu takes a Psychic from Indeedee. That's pretty good. Do I let Urshifu go down here? I think I need to get Rillaboom in, actually. Fish for a Moonblast into Terapagos. They probably won't let me have it. But what I can do with Rillaboom is change the terrain and then fake out Indeedee, Encore Terapagos, if everything works out just right. There's the Follow Me, Calm Mind. Whimsicott stays asleep. Well, I need Whimsicott to wake up this next turn then. Is it? I think it's not guaranteed yet, right? There's one more. Oh, it is guaranteed. Okay. Good. Okay, Terapagos is locked into Calm Mind, which, you know, is fine as long as it stays locked. Them not switching Indeedee out should be good for me here. I'm going to Moonblast and Woodhammer Terapagos. Even if they redirect them, at least I should get rid of Indeedee then. But I'd rather... Moonblast is important to break the Terra Shell, and then I'd rather get the big Woodhammer damage into Terapagos. Okay, they're going to get Darkrai and Terapagos on the field together. I can Grassy Glide Darkrai. Yeah. Then I just have to beat Terapagos, and with Whimsicott still on the field, and Terapagos being their last Mon, it should never be able to attack, so that should be fine. Moonblast special attack drop is not going to matter, because I don't intend to let Terapagos attack. I'll just Encore and Grassy Glide here. Okay, they break the priority on Grassy Glide, but they still don't get to do much else, and they forfeit. Nice. Once again, we're going to call that a Spectrier win, even though I didn't bring Spectrier, because, you know, if you're on the team, you get the win, right? I gotta get Spectrier into some more games. Miraidon, Iron Bundle, Iron Hands, Magearna, Hearthflame, Mask, Ogerpon, and Blood Moon Ursaluna. Scary stuff. I kind of want to just lead Solgaleo Spectrier, but as previously noted, I'm afraid to do that into Miraidon because it can just KO Solgaleo. Is it worth running Terra? Well, oh, maybe I should run Terra Electric on Solgaleo. That's the only. It's the only type that resists electric and is still weak to ground. Maybe Terra Electric Solgaleo would have been fun. Kind of defaulted to fire. I probably would want Flare Blitz then. I kind of defaulted to fire because no burn, and also the Bulldoze still works. Might be something to think about after this game. Kyogre is so good into these guys, but I'm gonna do Spectre Solgaleo lead. It still works if they don't lead Miraidon, and if they do, I can switch to Rillaboom. So I guess basically I'm gonna bring. Do I need Urshifu in this game? I'll bring Urshifu instead of Whimsicott. I was gonna say the same mode as that other game, but I changed my mind. Okay, they don't lead Miraidon. That's huge. Because Bulldoze. I can Terra Fire to cover for the Ivy Cudgel. Ideally, I would like to hit Ursaluna this turn, I think. So I will Bulldoze, Terra Fire, Psychic Fangs in case they redirect. That'll hit Ogerpon harder than Sunsteel Strike will. They Terra Fire the Ogerpon, so I don't think they're redirecting my attack. I think they're just going for it. Bulldoze comes out first. Solgaleo goes next. Psychic Fangs doesn't do amazing damage to Ursaluna, though. Do they Earth Power Solgaleo? They Blood Moon Spectrier. Okay. Oh, it's Life Orb Ursaluna. If I had a non-ghost attack, I do have a non-ghost attack. It's called Bulldoze, but it doesn't do enough damage here. But actually, if I Bulldoze and Protect, Ursaluna should drop to its own Life Orb then, right? If it attacks Spectrier, which it does with Hyper Voice. There goes Ursaluna. I'm still so scared of Miraidon. My opponent said funky in chat. I'm so scared of Miraidon that I think I switched to Rillaboom here. Yeah, there's Miraidon. I think I just need Solgaleo to knock out Ogerpon before Ogerpon can mess with Rillaboom. Fake Out. Psychic Fangs. I hope this KOs. Otherwise, I just lose to Miraidon, I think. Basically, if they knock out Rillaboom this turn, I think I lose to Miraidon. And I need Solgaleo to knock out Ogerpon so that Ogerpon won't knock out Rillaboom. I went for Follow Me. Nice. What's their last Pokemon? Bundle. Bundle's a bit scary in a Rillaboom. Not so much into Solgaleo. I'm gonna high horsepower Miraidon and protect Solgaleo here. I'm looking to preserve Solgaleo so that it can threaten the bundle. They have Freeze Dry. Electro Drift into Solgaleo. How much does high horsepower do? No damage whatsoever. Alright, that's pretty much worst case. If Freeze Dry does the same damage as last turn, it knocks out Rillaboom. Also, Miraidon can just double into Rillaboom to ensure the KO, so I'm going to Grassy Glide Bundle. I don't have a better idea than that here. And Psychic Fangs, Miraidon. Bundle's pretty physically bulky. Does take a lot from that Grassy Glide, but not quite enough. Misses the KO on Rillaboom, but gets the Freeze, so just as well that I didn't click high horsepower, but Solgaleo gets knocked out by an Electro Drift, and I think I do just lose to Miraidon now. It was close, though. Well, pretty close. Maybe I still lost to Miraidon after this turn. It feels like it was pretty close, you know, like on an emotional level. Maybe Rillaboom thaws and knocks out the bundle here. And somehow I get this Ice Spinner into Miraidon. Oh, it does thaw. But Miraidon's gonna knock out Urshifu. There's no Ice Spinner. And I'll try to take the KO on bundle, but I don't have enough HP to stand up to Miraidon. What happens if that high horsepower connects? Probably Miraidon still wins this game, but at lower HP. But I don't know, maybe I can think about, like, Grassy Glide, Aqua Jet, maybe something crits. Who knows? Okay, Arceus, Fluttermane, Gothitelle, Magearna, Rillaboom, and Incineroar. Arceus Perish Trap. I haven't seen that in a little while, actually. Or alternatively, Magearna Perish Trap. They can play this either way, which is pretty interesting. Well, I guess it actually Arceus. Well, Arceus is probably a Perish Song singer, but they do also have Fluttermane for that. So yeah, they can do an Arceus mode or Magearna mode, or they can do them together. But I'd beat Perish Trap with this team. I mean, Solgaleo threatens big damage. It certainly does do that. I'm just going to throw Spectrier Solgaleo mode at this and hope I figure it out. How do I ever beat Rillaboom? If Solgaleo goes down to the early Perish Song, then I never beat Rillaboom. So maybe it should be Kyogre lead. Kyogre or Shifu lead? They can only fake out one if they only have one fake out setter on the field. Big offense. And then Solgaleo stuff in the back. That does lose the advantage of being able to switch Spectrier out of a Perish Trap. Kyogre, Cantera, and Ice Beam Rillaboom. I'm gonna do this though. Solgaleo Spectre lead might actually have been better. Here's the Rillaboom immediately. I'm pretty frightened of the Rillaboom. Is it worth Ice Beaming it? Not right now, I think. I'm gonna Origin Pulse and switch to Solgaleo. There's not much that Urshifu can do to survive this Rillaboom. We missed the Origin Pulse into Magearna, not great. Electro Web Magearna. It's lowering my speeds. Well, not Solgaleo, but yes to Kyogre. And it Terra Watered, and I didn't bring Rillaboom, which is my Pokemon specific for that, really for this. But you can't cover everything, right? I saw the Perish Trap at preview, and you know, I do think I needed to make sure I was adequately covered into that. That was Psychic Fang, the Magearna. Doesn't do great damage. They have high horsepower. That actually gives me my weakness policy, though. Okay, we're getting some damage. Citrus Magearna. Now I'm threatening a KO into Magearna. They could switch Incineroar in, but I mean, that's going to come in on the Origin Pulse if they do. They protect Magearna. This gives them a high horsepower into Solgaleo, but they take a U-turn into Kyogre instead. Who is coming in? Watermane, okay. Be nice if it's not Sash. It's not Sash. Oh, I already saw the thing, the booster energy. Okay, Arceus. Arceus probably doesn't knock out Solgaleo before Solgaleo before. I'm gonna switch to Spectre and Psychic Fangs. Arceus probably doesn't knock out Solgaleo before Solgaleo knocks out Magearna. I thought they might go for Extreme Speed into Kyogre, that's why I pivoted to Spectre. We take out Magearna. The Soul Heart boost is not helpful to them. It's just Arceus and Rillaboom. I'll just protect around the Fake Out here. This will also get us out of grassy terrain. Okay, Shadow Claw on the Arceus. I will go for Will-O-Wisp and Arceus. And Sunsteel Strike into Rillaboom. Spectre is the fastest Pokemon on the field. Takes that Shadow Claw really well after burning the Arceus. Sunsteel Strike takes out the Rillaboom, and that is a clean Spectre win. Can't say Spectre didn't contribute to this one. Coming in on the extreme speed for free, and then burning the Arceus in the end game. You love to see it. But I worried so much at preview about the Perish Trap stuff, and then they never used that. I guess my team is pretty offensive and a threat to overwhelm if they do go for it. This might be the end of the road, though. This is Dozo, Geary, Weezing, Calyrex, along with Indeedee and Miraidon. This is not something that I thought about in the builder, if we're being honest. The Dondozo can ignore Solgaleo's weakness policy boosts. That said... Oh, you know what? Also, Weezing will turn off Full Metal Body, right? So if I Bulldoze Solgaleo, I slow it down, as well as the opponent's Pokemon. I think that's probably still worth it in most positions. Is it going to be Ability Shield Miraidon on this team? I think it is. I think I probably just lose to Ability Shield Miraidon, to be honest. I'm not sure how I ever beat that. Maybe with Whimsicott. The problem is now I want to lead all of Spectre, Solgaleo, and Whimsicott, and the game won't let me do that, fortunately. Whimsicott doesn't get Prankster, but it should still be able to get opportunities to set Tailwind against this team. And that might be necessary to beat Miraidon. So I'm going to go... Where's my cursor? I'm going to go Whimsicott, Solgaleo, Spectrier. Kyogre. It's really janky. Kyogre... I mean, all my Pokemon in the back threaten Dondozo to some extent, but I could see it being Rocky Helmet Dozo on this team. Anyway, it's not Ability Shield Miraidon. Okay. That surprises me. I thought I was going to have to deal with Miraidon in Electric Terrain turn 1 here. I could have led Spectrier if I'd known it wasn't Ability Shield Miraidon. Right, because it's not as dangerous into Solgaleo as it is when it has Hadron Engine active. I'll go for Tailwind. Protect. I want to get this Weezing out of here if I can. I'm just worried about... Okay. Taunt Miraidon, that's a new one to me. I'm just worried about Solgaleo getting burned. mean, I'll Moonblast Miraidon if you let me. I'm thinking about Terrassalizing the Solgaleo, but it feels kind of reckless in this position. If they burn me, I'm going to be disappointed. I guess they thought I would switch Whimsicott out there. So they just let me get a big... Oh my god, it's Weakness Policy Miraidon. They just let me get a big Moonblast into it, though. Sunsteel Strike into Weezing doesn't quite KO. They get 2 layers of Toxic Spikes. Do you think the Miraidon is choice locked into that Draco Meteor? Be nice if it is. Then these attacks are pretty free. No, Discharge. Doesn't do too much, though. Paralyzes Solgaleo. But they let me have the Miraidon, which I was terrified of at preview. So I think we take those. Calyrex kind of wrecks me now, though. They go in DD. It's not great if I set Tailwind and they set Trick Room. That's pretty bad news. I don't think they're going to set Trick Room. I think they must have Calyrex in the back, right? Because they don't have room for both Dondozo and Tatsugiri. If they Trick Room here, they're a menace, but I don't think they will. Luring Voice and a Solgaleo, okay. And there's the Calyrex. I have Tailwind. They can follow me. I'll go Light Screen here. It's annoying that I never boosted Solgaleo, because being able to wipe out this Indeedee would be nice right now. Is it worth Terra Fire? Am I doing anything else with my Terra this game? I don't think I am, so I might as well just take the chance that I survive an Astral Barrage. And do I have enough damage even? Kyogre in the back is the key then, right? Let's just do this. Light Screen, Expanding Force. Okay, the Terra was bad then. Did they call that I would Terra, or did they just click a double resisted Expanding Force with no fear? Okay. Protect, Water Spout. I'm looking to knock out Indeedee and be able to Shadow Ball Calyrex. Spectrier having only Ghost-type offense, and also Bulldoze is not ideal, but last turn of Tailwind, they just protected. Here we go. Shadow Ball. For the win, Spectrier brings it home. Let's go. Spectrier is so good. I mean, it's not the greatest, but it's not having a bad showing here. The horse by itself, no need for anyone riding it, huh? Okay, this one might really be the end of the line, though. Ice Rider, Calyrex, Koraidon, Fluttermane, Brute Bonnet, Raging Bolt, and Incineroar. This one might be the end of the line. How do I beat Koraidon? Can I just Spectrier, Solgaleo, Terrifier, Weakness Policy, Bulldoze? That loses to Koraidon Fluttermane lead because they can Icy Wind and then knock Calyrex out without me getting the Bulldoze. But maybe they won't do that. And I'll bring Whimsicott, and I'll bring... I kind of want to bring Kyogre. It's tricky if I Terrasilize the Solgaleo, because then I can't Terrasilize Kyogre against Raging Bolt and Brute Bonnet. But, I mean, what am I going to do better with Urshifu here? Let's bring Kyogre. Fluttermane, Brute Bonnet. Okay, the lead I did not want to see was Fluttermane Koraidon. This is relatively okay. Actually, they can still Sucker Punch Spectrier. Oh well. If they do that, there's not much I can do about it. And actually, I do think I just Terrasilize Solgaleo right away and Terra Blast the Brute Bonnet. So I don't have a great threat to it otherwise, and getting that Pokemon out of here before it gets a defense boost and starts spreading spores would be pretty valuable. If I get Bulldoze into Fluttermane, that's pretty funny too, because that's a Pokemon that relies on being turbo fast. Although, assuming it's speed boosting with Photosynthesis, one Bulldoze only negates that. It doesn't actually make Fluttermane slow. They protect it anyway. Well, that means the turn 1 play turns out nicely for me, I think. Covert Cloak Brute Bonnet, by the way, didn't take the speed drop, but it does get knocked out by Terra Blast. I'll go for Will-O-Wisp on Koraidon if they let me. What are the chances, though? Actually, I think I'm better off just clicking... Because I'm going to click Psychic Fangs into Koraidon. Actually, significantly weakening Koraidon, even if it takes a KO this turn, because both of my Pokemon are doing unpleasant things to it, is a pretty big advantage for the rest of the game. With Kyogre in the back and Whimsicott. So I'm going to Will-O-Wisp, Koraidon, and Psychic Fangs. Fire. Okay, the Will-O-Wisp was silly after all. But what does Koraidon go for after this Icy Wind? Flare Blitz into Spectrier. That's okay. I think. Doesn't quite drop the Psychic Fangs, but I get Tailwind now. Fluttermane can't slow Solgaleo down. It's not looking like much of a threat into Solgaleo. I think we target Koraidon again here. And I'll actually click Terra Blast in case it switches. We do have Shadow Ball and Fluttermane. But it doesn't look like another one will KO right away. Raging Bolt is the last Pokemon. Okay, so Thunderclap is a problem. Thunderclap is a big problem. What do I do here? I kind of want to Moonblast something. Let's Moonblast Raging Bolt and protect Solgaleo. They protect Fluttermane. A special attack drop would be... Okay, they just protect both. Alright. Yeah, because now they can Thunderclap Solgaleo. That makes sense. Except they can't, because Encore. And I'll take out Raging Bolt if I can. Because Kyogre should be able to beat Fluttermane. They get the double protect. I mean, that obviously had a chance to happen. It might be worth it to lock Fluttermane into Moonblast, actually. Because that's not going to hit Solgaleo super hard. My Tailwind does end now. They're locked in to protect and Moonblast. Origin Pulse. Sunsteel Strike. They get the protect on Raging Bolt. Knock Fluttermane down to Sash. Do we land the Origin Pulse? Yes. Encore is over, but Roaring Bolt shouldn't... Raging Bolt, whatever this thing is called, shouldn't be able to target both my Pokemon. Thunderclap takes out Solgaleo, but Kyogre doesn't even have to attack as its Life Orb Raging Bolt, and it knocks itself out with the Life Orb Recoil. Spectrier just can't stop winning. How long is this video? Pokemon's so good. I don't do rematches when I'm recording. I don't do rematches much at all. I'd rather just get the next random opponent. Okay. Shadow Rider Calyrex. Did they send another one? Dondozo, Tatsugiri, Kyogre, Rillaboom, and Raichu. Another Dozo-Giri team. Spectre is still nice into that because you can burn the Dondozo. But yeah, Solgaleo's boosts are not very useful into it. Let's try Spectre, Solgaleo, Whimsicott. And then Rillaboom is really good in this whole team. Okay, they lead Dondozo, Kyogre. Almost feel like I'd rather burn the Dondozo than get the setup. But I don't think that's correct, because I think I need to lower Kyogre's speed and get a big attack into it, if I possibly can. So let's hope Dondozo survives, or let's hope Spectre survives the turn. Oh, but if they switch to Tatsugiri... Okay, I'm gonna Will-O-Wisp Dondozo this turn and protect Solgaleo, but I hope Spectre gets through this turn and I can click Bulldoze next turn. I don't know what they mean by a question mark there. Scarfoger, Water Spout. That's unfortunate for me. Bulldoze would have been really good there. Just Bulldoze and attack Kyogre. Burning Dondozo is nice though. It definitely is, but I don't think I'm getting a Bulldoze this game. Unless I can preserve Spectrier somehow. I'll go Whimsicott, fake out Kyogre. Tatsugiri comes in now. Okay. Dondozo's behind a substitute. It's boosted, but it is burned. This is the attack boosting Tatsugiri form, though. Terra Water Dondozo. That's interesting. Usually you see something more defensive than that. Oh, it's Surf Dondozo. I haven't seen that in a while. Does Encore go through substitute? I think it does, but I don't know why I would want to lock this into Surf. Do I just lose to Surf Dondozo? Honestly, probably. Tailwind and Woodhammer. But yeah, I think it just sweeps me. So, hey, as long as I kept going, we were eventually going to find the end of the line for Spectre, and I think this is it. Also, Surf Dondozo is not bothered by that burn. Imagine if I'd clicked... if I clicked Bulldoze turn 1, I think this still doesn't give me much of any answer to Dondozo. I don't think boosting is worth it because they have Unaware. I think I'm actually better off just clicking Shadow Ball. Just throwing whatever attacks I have at this and hoping that there's some crazy crit or something. I mean, that did respectable damage. Imagine if those attacks had both crit. And it's extremely unlikely, but it could happen. Alright. Spectre. Well, Dondozo has been an absolute menace since the beginning of Scarlet and Violet VGC. Even Spectre can't handle it every time. But that was a fun little laddering session. The Spectre and Solgaleo actually went kind of crazy. I don't know what this person is doing sending me question marks. The Spectre and Solgaleo actually went pretty crazy there. I was worried this would be one of those videos where I just like lose every game, but not so. So next time you look at a Shadow Rider Calyrex, don't think only about the rider. Show the horse some respect too, because it deserves it. And next time, a little bit of a stronger legendary ghost type. That's all I have to say for now. So come back next week for part 3 of this year's Ghost Month.